Borrowing your identity is easier than borrowing your car, right? That's what my brother said, grinning over Sunday roast like he'd just asked to take my lawnmower. My mother laughed. My stepdad raised his glass in salute. I put my fork down and felt the room tilt. That night, I made one phone call, pressed one button, and by dawn the FBI were kicking in the door of the lake house he bragged about on Instagram. My name is Harper Quinn. People who've known me forever call me the reliable one. The daughter who never cancels, the sister who always picks up the phone at 2 a.m., the girl who smiles when everyone else is screaming. They mistake quiet for surrender. They never learned that glaciers are quiet too until they rip a continent in half. My brother, Landon Quinn, entered every room like he was the main character and the rest of us were paid extras. My mom, Valerie, and my stepdad, Greg, spent 28 years rewriting the script so he could shine brighter. I grew up in the shadows they cast, holding the spotlight steady so no one noticed it was burning my hands. We still met at the old family house in Fairfax every third Sunday, white clapboard, hydrangeas exploding along the porch, the smell of Valerie's rosemary chicken drifting out like nothing had ever gone wrong. 2 months ago, Landon swept in wearing a watch that cost more than my car. He talked about crypto flips, a new boat, weekends in Miami. Mom and Greg hung on every word. When they finally remembered I existed, Landon smirked and asked if I was still crunching numbers for the government. I smiled the way you do when someone hands you a loaded gun and calls it a gift. I'm a forensic accountant for a federal task force. My days are spent hunting ghosts in spreadsheets, tracing money that doesn't want to be found. So when the hard inquiry pinged my phone 3 weeks later, I didn't cry. I went cold, the way I do when a case finally breaks open. One new account. $112,000. Signature looping and lazy, nothing like mine. Income tripled. All in my name. I called him from a conference room with the blinds drawn. Landon, did you open something using my info? He laughed, easy sunlit. My scores cooked, Harp. You've got that pristine 820. I just needed a little bridge cash. You'll barely notice. Greg's voice drifted in from the background. It's not stealing if it's family, son. I hung up before I said something I couldn't take back. Mom texted an hour later. Don't blow this out of proportion. Greg followed. We'll pay it back before you even see a bill. They thought love meant absorption. I thought love meant boundaries. That night, I built the file the way I build every case, clean, chronological, merciless. Screenshots of Landon's yacht posts timestamped the same week the loan funded. Bank records. The forged application. The routing number that led straight to his personal account. I attached the audio clip I'd recorded of the phone call, his own voice admitting it like he was proud. I did not sleep. At 4:17 a.m., I hit submit through the encrypted portal we use for whistleblowers and victims. The system acknowledged receipt with a simple line, referral escalated, urgent. The raid happened at 6:03 the next morning. I wasn't there, but I got the body cam stills later, Landon barefoot on imported marble, mouth open mid-sentence, agents fanning through rooms that smelled like new money and panic. They took the computers, the Rolex display, the safe behind the fake Rothko. They took the illusion. Mom called 17 times. I let it ring. When I finally drove to the house that afternoon, the air inside felt refrigerated. Valerie stood in the foyer clutching a shredded Kleenex like a lifeline. Greg's face had collapsed into something raw and old. You turned federal agents on your own brother, he said, voice cracking. I protected the life I built while you were busy protecting his lies. I answered. Valerie whispered, he's in a holding cell, Harper. They handcuffed him. Good, I said, and the word landed between us like a thrown knife. Maybe cuffs are the only thing he's ever taken seriously. Greg tried the old line. We could have fixed this privately. You had 30 years to fix him privately, I said. You taught him the world bends for Landon Quinn. Today the world stopped bending. I walked out without hugging anyone goodbye. Some doors only close from the inside. 3 weeks later the charges were filed. Wire fraud, identity theft, aggravated forgery. The lake house went into forfeiture. Mom and Greg quietly rewrote their estate plan and removed Landon as executor. The new documents arrived by courier with no note. At work, my director offered me lead on a new identity theft strike force. I accepted before he finished the sentence. Sometimes my phone still lights up with numbers I don't know, voicemails I delete unheard. I don't hate them. I just don't owe them my oxygen anymore. Quiet people don't always stay quiet. Sometimes we just wait until the evidence is irrefutable, until the moment is surgical, until the truth has nowhere left to hide. Then we speak, once, clearly, and the whole rotten structure comes down. If you've ever had to choose yourself over the family that raised you, drop your city in the comments. You're not dramatic. You're not cruel. You're just done being the place where their consequences go to die.